Cheers, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of my pathetic life as a homeowner. Progress and maintenance, right? Progress and maintenance. I'll be honest with you, I've been slacking hard and not doing a lot of maintenance and not doing a lot of progress. The maintenance part is getting a little ridiculous, so there's gonna be a lot more videos coming up. But anyways, this video is gonna be about my dartboard. I just set up what I would consider the cheapest smart dartboard setup that I can think of. And when I say cheapest smart, this was bought on Amazon. I think it was like 50 bucks. We'll get into the pricing at the end of the video, but this is what I set up here, and I got this awesome iPad here, and I can do all of the math by pushing buttons while I drink, and I don't have to think. We'll get into some lighting in this. But anyways, if you like what you see here, I'm gonna do a walkthrough video of how I set this thing up, what I ran into and what I didn't run into. And maybe this works at your place. So let's get started, cheers. We got the dartboard. We got the instructions, mounting template, and we got these brackets which are meant for wood, and I'll have a lot of fun because I'm going into concrete. We'll get to that in a second. Then we got clear coat, UV resistant clear coat. This thing's gonna be sitting out in the sun, so I might as well paint it. We got an iPad here. This is an ancient iPad that's been sitting around. You might have one sitting around, but if you don't, you can buy these pretty cheap or use a smartphone or something. I have a bracket here for the iPad. I have a cable here for the iPad, and then I have cable clips for the cable. Let's get started with clear coating this thing. All right, this thing smudges really easily. I'm gonna wipe it all down first. We gotta plug this thing in to that up there and run the cable down here. So these clips, they don't come with the sticker on it, so I got off the ladder to put these on and kind of get them going here. I just gotta clean this a bit, so hopefully these things stick better and don't fall off. One. All right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should be good. Looks all right. So this iPad mount, it's a cheap ass mount. I bought it because it was cheap, but anyways, one thing I don't like about it is it's kind of this bracket, and I already drilled these 2 holes here. By the way, I am drilling into concrete. I don't know if you're gonna be drilling into concrete. If you are drilling into concrete, I do have a video of me mounting that video or that TV right there and drilling into concrete, and I showed you all the steps on how to drill into concrete. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and I'll probably post it somewhere in the description below as well. But yeah, back to this bracket. I don't like it, but I like it. I mean, I don't like it, it's just cheap. Easiest way to put it, that's why I bought it. So the thing I hate about it is it's offset. If you notice these 2 holes right here, they're not centered. And the reason why they're not centered is because based on the width of this iPad, it's not centered either. So for example, I'm gonna be screwing this in right now, and then it's gonna hook up like this, but realistically, the iPad's gonna be centered. Now, the other thing I wanna say about this bracket while I'm at it, it says unlock push up. That's absolutely bullshit right there. I was pushing up on this thing and losing my mind, and I kind of cracked it a little here, but it's not a big deal. It's actually unlock push down, opposite. Thank you, China. So this is it plugged in. This is sitting, well, just because of my thing, there's 10 feet of cord here, but this is probably at like, I don't know, 5.5 level roughly. A little higher than I was wanting it, but I got no cord. Maybe I can get an extension to kind of bring it down here so kids can play, but So yeah, it's sitting head height basically. But anyways, the other option with this bracket is you can kind of go like this too. Turn it sideways. But I intend to leave it like this and plug it into power, and I still have the capability to kind of shift it around a little bit up and down. So that's that. I'll get into that app in a second. Next step, I got some tape right here, and this is a template that comes with the dartboard, and it comes with a string, and at the bottom of the string there's this weight, and it does two things. This is giving you the idea of how high your dartboard has to be, so this weight has to touch the ground. That's how high you need to be. And this will also, at the same time, this weight is gonna give you an idea of the level. So for example, there's a string here. If it's off like this, it's clearly not level. If it's going this way, it's not level. If it's down the center, it's level. And I made a mark here, and this is kind of where I want the center of this dartboard to go. And the reason why I put the center there is because when you open the door, I don't want it hitting this. So this is the next step here, and it looks like I'm pretty much bang on down there. Up here, tape. Hopefully this holds. And next step, we got these brackets, and these ones comes with nails. And if you got a wooden wall, you put the bracket like this on the template and just nail it in. Now I have a concrete wall or cinder block. My situation is gonna be a bit weird, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna try to use these nails or not. I might end up using screws, and it's gonna be a whole thing. I don't wanna get into it in this video, but long story short, you put one here, nail it in, you put the other one on the other side, you nail it in, and then we get to mounting the dartboard. So let me get through this bullshit that I'm gonna have to deal with and go from there. I really, really hate drilling into concrete. It sucks. It's always a little off. I'm sure I'm a little off here, but it's not a big deal. Anyways, here's what I did. I only had a concrete drill bit that is 5/32 kicking around. So I literally pre-drilled the holes, and now I'm at a point where this is what the actual nails are. If you can see that there, they're on an angle, and they kind of loosely slip in. And to be honest with you, I'm debating whether to leave it like this for them to slip in, because the weight of the dartboard, which it is pretty heavy to be honest with you, should hold all this down. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like this, a slip in, instead of putting screws in, and see what happens. Let's put this thing up now. So here's a bit of a tip. On the back of this, at first you don't realize it, but this cardboard, it's supposed to come out. Little bit of a tip. It doesn't really say that in the instructions. And then you're gonna hang it off of these things. So these screws right here are gonna go into these little slots, and it should all work, right? It should all work. All right, this thing is pretty heavy, so I can't tell if I'm hitting a slot or not. I hope I am. All right. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the whole entire setup here. Getting this dartboard on kind of sucked. Trying to figure out where the notches are versus where the nails are was a bit of a pain in the ass, but at the end of the day, it's hanging, and I have faith in it that it ain't gonna fall off. So, cost of dartboard. This was $52 off of Amazon. Anything I talk about in this entire video, I bought off Amazon, so there's gonna be a link in the description of the video if you need to click on something, or if you like something, or if you want to check it out. So $52. On to the next thing, iPad. Now this iPad is probably, it's one of the first generation iPads. I've had it probably for like 13 or 14 years. It's been sitting in a drawer for probably 10 years, not doing anything. I have a newer generation iPad that I kind of use for the house. And to be honest with you, that one's actually getting obsolete too. Fuck you, Apple. But anyways, another subject. iPad. Was doing absolutely nothing. I decided to just dedicate it to this dartboard, and I love it. It makes this so much simpler than actually doing all the math in your head. And it was sitting in a drawer. I'm probably sure that 99% of people probably have something like this sitting in their drawer, so this might not be a huge cost to you. So that being said, let's get into the app while we're at it here. Now, I downloaded this app here, and I'm not sure if you're gonna see very well, but it's called Dart Score. Now, I'm gonna give you a heads up here. Because this iPad is so old, Apple doesn't support it anymore. And what I mean by they don't support it anymore is I can't download the most recent iOS software. And that became a headache when I was trying to find a Dart Score app, because I tried to basically download 25 different Dart Score apps that I can find in the Apple Store, and the brunt of them all gave me a notice saying, sorry, this app does not support this old iOS of this iPad. Luckily, this app was one of the only ones that were supported, and I'll show you an image of what the icon looks like here on the screen, but it was one of the only ones that was supported. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's probably the best one. So whoever created this shout out to you guys, because it's actually a really great app. It's super basic, super simple. You can add up to 4 players. You can change your games from countdown to 101, 1001, 501, 601, and then you have cricket as well. And cricket basically looks like this, super simple, and then you throw your darts and you do that, right? That's no big deal. Now, the cool part about the countdown is you can do all the drinking you want, and you don't have to do all the math, which is great, except for the last 3 darts, or the last few darts. That's when you actually have to start doing math. So let's get into a 501 here, and I'll give you an example, or a 601. I'll give you an example of how simple this layout is. So I got 2 players right now. We're both at 601. Super simple. We're gonna throw a dart. All right, we got a 7. All right, so really easy. There's 2 ways to do this. This app goes, you can put a 7 in. If you do the math yourself, you can go like that, no problem, done. You can do it that way, or you can click on this little icon right here, and then it shows the whole score basically. So let's say I hit triple 20. So I hit 1, 2, 3. Let's say I hit a 15. Let's say I hit 11, and then boom, it does the score for you. And then you move on. Super great app, love it. And then, so here's the other thing I ran into here. Okay, so it's starting to get dark out right now, right? So I'm like, shit, I need some light back here, and I can't figure out how to do the light. So I'm like, you know what? Let's try to use my barbecue lights. These barbecue lights right here. And what I decided to do was I bought these discs. They're metal magnetic discs, and these barbecue lights, they have magnets on the bottom, so you can click right here like that. And then you can do this. And I'm like, holy shit, this is ultimate setup here. I got it dialed in. I got my barbecue lights with my little metal discs, and then I got my lights. And I can aim them. I even put some discs up here. There's a ton of discs you buy. The discs were like $6. I think these lights were like $12. Basically, every little accessory that I'm gonna talk about is probably around $10, easiest way to put it. So anyways, I thought this was a great idea, and I realized quickly that these things suck. They fall off exactly like that. So as soon as you start throwing darts, they start falling off, and it doesn't work. Didn't like it, went through too many batteries. So I decided to ditch this idea, and I decided to buy a 110 volt garden light that you can see right now. And then I mated that garden light into a smart plug. So that smart plug right there, which is Apple HomeKit, which is something I hate, but I'll get into that in another video. And then that was like $10. That was roughly $10 as well. And then basically I control it off of my phone. So for example, I can say, hey Siri, turn on the dartboard light. Boom. That's how it works. Super simple setup. As long as you got Wi-Fi, you can pull that off, and this light is actually perfect. And I can turn it on and off based on my phone. All right, so that was basically $10. Then we get into the mount for the iPad. I tried to find the cheapest one possible. I'll be honest with you, I don't like this mount, but it works. It's kind of spring loaded. It actually holds really tight. And this was, I believe, $15. So that covers that. And then obviously I ran my cable. This was a 10-foot cable. I had to buy it in a pack of 3. And this was around $10 as well. And then I had some clips that hold the wire kind of tight all the way up there. And that's that. So roughly speaking, $52, $15. So we're at $65, 75, 85 for the smart plug. I'm gonna say 95 for the light. And obviously the iPad is questionable. So roughly $100 to get a quote unquote really decent dartboard, easy app to do all the math for you. And yeah, no, I like it. So I've had this up since the beginning of the video. I've had it up for like a month. So this is the closing part a month later. So that's how long it took me to take this video. So anyways, if you enjoy what you see, please do me a favor, like, subscribe. If you have any suggestions, put them in the comments as well, because I mean, I don't know, maybe I missed something, could have done something better. So anyways, I'm off to another battle. You have yourself a wonderful good night. Cheers.